There was another team that we had sent before for trade finance, and I came in here so that at a higher level decision making, we're able to support the structuring of any product, seeing that some of the things that we require to approve would have to go through an executive committee of the bank to sanction the risk view of the products, and the fact that this industry, the grain industry, is pretty significant. As a bank, we concentrate not to do just the traditional banking products, and we want to do something that we find that we do understand ourselves, and it has its own attractiveness from a commercial perspective.
Traditionally, banks put a lot of emphasis on security, the traditional security, where you want to take charge of our property. But when you're dealing with grains, we can unlock a lot of opportunities for our clients by using the commodity as collateral. And so as we learn more about the warehousing receipt, we see ourselves as stepping into the space where we can look at the commodity as security and lock financing for our clients. And also, before you actually lend to a client, you need to understand the sector. And so for us, this is an opportunity to understand the grain sector in Kenya.
The course allows participants to meet other players involved in the commodity production and marketing value chain. Apart from helping the course participants understand how the value chain runs from the pricing perspective, the commodity trade financing course helps them unlock new opportunities in the commodity industry. During this session, 4 teams are formed and given a problem related to commodity trade financing to solve. In order to engage in commodity trade financing successfully, it is important to understand the world of international commodity trade.
These guys take orders which they have no financial ability to service. So there's this guy, an Indian guy I met, he's one of the 3 contractors who were given the subcontracted for that, and said every Kenyan you meet tells you they can supply with 100,000 tons, but they don't even have money to buy 1 ton. So at some point,
the training by EAGC assists us in better understanding the grain sector. We appreciate the facilitators who have taken us through warehousing receipt, financing, and even just to network and meet other players and people who can add value as we try and understand the grain sector.
Some of the comments that came about after our presentation helped us see some of the risks and made me appreciate the need to actually research more when customers come to you with a need, so that you can guide them appropriately. My take home from this course is that nobody is an expert. We seem to think we know it all, but you could always learn from other people. I think the contacts that we've made here are invaluable. It doesn't hurt to call somebody else to seek the opinion and get to know what the experiences are. It might actually help you in perfecting your product or an advice to a customer.
I've learned quite a lot. I used to think that I know trade, but I realized there's something called KYC. KYC, yes, we normally do KYC as the bank, but we need to do further and ask ourselves, let's say this farmer is, let's say a customer has approached the bank and he wants to import something. We need to ask ourselves, is this their line of business? Are they starting this something for the first time? Is this something legal? That is actually KYC, so that you don't find ourselves in a situation whereby when it comes to payment, something happens. Probably the goods shipped were different and bringing issues to both the customer and the bank. So KYC is very important. I've also learned that there were change actually in Incoterms. We are no longer using 2000, it's 2010. It's quite amazing because I left Tradeway back in 2008. That time we used to use Incoterms 2000. Now we're using 2010, and there are specific Incoterms for ship, that's waters and other general Incoterms. So I've learned quite a lot.
This is a course that we designed about a year ago in response to the needs from the sector. We realized that there was a need for capacity building, for training, so that our stakeholders can understand quite a lot about commodities and their characteristics and issues around, just generally around commodities and their value chains, and then unlock the financing opportunities that commodity trade, commodity production brings on board.
Commercial grain handling, storage and warehousing companies are businesses that offer their services to grain depositors. Depositors include farmers, traders, cooperatives and non-government organizations who place the grain in a warehouse for a fee. These handling and warehousing companies aim to make a profit. Warehouse operators do not own the grain they store. They earn their money from the handling and warehousing fees they charge. After harvest, farmers are faced with the choice to sell the grain immediately or store it. The store may be personal, cooperative-owned or commercial. Traders face a similar choice. They can immediately sell the grain they have bought or keep it until they find a purchaser who is ready to pay the right price. Commercial storage services offer farmers and traders many advantages: lower cost, storage space, grain handling equipment, convenience, quality management and pest control, security, professional services, transfer of ownership. Most important of all, they offer them an important linkage to markets and structured trade. Farmers enjoy opportunities such as commodity financing as a result of receipts issued by the warehousing firms. Some of these firms have a network of buyers and can link farmers to better markets. Larger buyers also prefer to buy from warehousing companies as they can acquire large amounts of their product. Eldoret Golf Club Training Center, a capacity building workshop is underway. In attendance are farmers, traders, warehouse operators, transporters and millers.
The rotten and deceased. Rotten and deceased is the grains that are moldy or they are deceased.
A farmer here in Western Gishu or in Italy or wherever it is, you're not competing with your next door neighbor in terms of efficiency, in terms of the cost of production. You are competing with farmers in the entire EAGC and indeed the entire commercial region. So if a farmer in Uganda will produce a bag of maize cheaper than you here in Kenya, and then the market is one market because we are in a common market, then that means that there is a challenge for us in Kenya. And the challenge is, how are we going to ensure that we are efficient in our production so that we are not knocked out of the market by the efficient producers?
I've been operating within this region, that is Uasin Gishu, Trans Nzoia and Busia border. That's where we have been getting a good market. Yeah, we also have a good market in Bungoma. The challenges that we experience is the weight and measure. You realize that we buy maize in Korogoros, the mitungis. That's the 2 kg mitungi. But when you come now to the market, you are required to sell in kgs. So you realize that you also face those challenges because some of the purported 2 kg mitungi, it's not worthy 2 kg. Another challenge is transport. You realize that during this rain season sometimes, nafika mahali, you get stuck with your lorry, you are forced maybe to spend their time, you go maybe and you unaanika mahindi yako, you realize that you are forced to take a longer period of time trying to dry up your maize before taking it to the market because of this poor dry system.
There is also a big storage challenge among farmers.
One of the things that we do is linking communities with income generation and creating wealth. So our philosophy is building wealth to sustain health. And so we partner with the World Food Programme to access markets for smallholder farmers in different areas that we are operating. And generally we have mobilized several of our smallholder farmers into groups so that they are able to access structured markets. And that generally works to build their economics and find fair price and generally find at least guaranteed markets.
Kigali, Rwanda, a brainstorming session takes place among technocrats from the region, reviewing the success of structured trading systems.
Unexploited trade that we have. I don't know if you can see.
Today we are here in Kigali, Rwanda, hosting what we call the B2B, Business to Business Trade Facilitation Forum. In this Trade Facilitation Forum is part of the activities that EAGC does in pursuit of our mandate, because our mandate is to facilitate efficient, structured and profitable grain trade in the region. What we hope to achieve from today is that we expect all these grain stakeholders, traders, producers, buyers who have come for this meeting from Tanzania, from Uganda, from Rwanda, from Kenya, they will be able to execute trade agreements.
Since 2009, the USAID Compete program has been working with the East African Standards Committee, the EAGC, the private sector and national standards offices of 5 of the East African countries to develop harmonized quality standards.
Once we reduce the transaction costs and then we reduce the non-tariff barriers, then the trade across borders will increase. And again, there is an enhancement of communication between the stakeholders. This meeting is what is aimed at enhancing communication strategies between the different actors in the grain trade. Also, we are looking at how it can benefit everybody in the value chain. How it can benefit the producers, how it can benefit the traders, how it can benefit the consumers, how it can benefit the processors. Everybody should be a beneficiary in this one. Otherwise, if it benefits one side, then the other one loses. At the end of the day, the loser is also contributing to the economy of the country.
To succeed, structured grain trading needs a conducive policy environment that levels the playing field and allows the market forces of supply and demand to support a transparent process of price determination.
We are recently working with more than 7,900 farmers in the contract arrangement, but also we are reaching more than 10,000 farmers indirectly, the other farmers. But an issue has been for us to reach the market.
It's one thing to have the grain, and it's another thing to the grain reach to the final consumer. But in between there, we have a lot of informal business where sometimes we have gaps to reach out to the final consumer of the grain, because sometimes we have gaps and the grain is somewhere, but the grain can't be located from where it is to the final consumer. So this business meeting we are having, it will really aid us to open up the borders, open up locations, and trace from the farmer of the produce up to the final consumer. But in between there, knowing that we can bulk and we can produce exactly what the consumer wants.
Eastern Africa Grain Council advocates for increased investment in the structured trading systems, which aims to improve the lives of 10 million African families by the year 2020. The project design involved linking 3 innovation areas critical to upscaling the STS technology. As more of Africa's smallholder farmers become more active players in the value chains, there is need to develop institutions that enable stakeholders along the production chain the capacity to produce, trade and market products efficiently and cost-effectively, spreading value all round up to the customer level. 218 million people today suffer from hunger and malnutrition. Eastern Africa Grain Council is contributing to better food security on the continent by providing knowledge and skills about structured trading systems among active learning communities. This will have the long-term impact of reducing poverty among the most vulnerable communities on the African continent.